I am back from the dead.
Yesterday on my channel, I died because my Euro USD trade sort of fell apart, and I said that I would die if I hit the stop loss. This is a little bit of a recap in case you missed it. If price breaks through the 61.8% retracement on the Euro USD, I will die.
I'm taking the Jeep though.
That's fair.
Well, today I'm back to life because I caught a little bit of a rebound trade that I talked a little bit about yesterday. This dollar yen idea came into view yesterday. I talked about it on my video. I went long USD JPY off of this rejection candle here, and so far things are looking pretty good. We've got a nice rally going on now, moving up to about a $1,600 profit, and stops are rolled to break even. So a nice start to this Thursday trading. So this is the area. So we saw this level breakout. It was a key spot. We held support, and after this candle sort of showed this long wick on the bottom, I decided I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up with confirmation. I went ahead and picked up the long trade. Now my initial stop loss was just below the lows in case this market fell apart. I was going to take another loss there, which would have made for interesting content, but another losing trade. So unfortunately, or fortunately in this case, that did not happen, and I was able to catch a bit of a runner here. So what's the latest? Well, dollar yen looks really, really strong. And there's a couple reasons for this, but one thing we don't talk about very often on the channel is bonds. Bond yields are going crazy, and bond yields have strong correlation to the dollar yen. Historically speaking, it's a very interesting little thing. US 30-year, right? These are bond yields offered in the United States. Well, you compare that to the chart for the dollar yen, you can see there's a lot of correlation there. They tend to move together. And so that sort of bond sell-off that's going on, causing yields to rise dramatically, is really helping out my trade here on the dollar yen, which is the trade that I wanted all along. So in some evil, devious way, I might have gotten what I wanted in the end. Even though the euro trade didn't work out, this one was what I ultimately really wanted, was that dollar yen pullback. Now, if I really got what I wanted, I would have been in right here. That was a marked up level on my chart, but I missed that entry, so shoulda, coulda, woulda, but still happy with what I've got. My stop loss is rolled to break even, so if this price comes crashing down and does not hold any sort of retest levels, I'll just take a break even trade on this one, as I'm looking for this one to pretty quickly and rapidly continue to the upside. So let's go through this a little bit. Seasonality is somewhere I wanted to start today. If I go look at the USD against the JPY, the dollar yen, you can see that we're now in the month of March, and month of March is historically speaking positive for USD JPY, and you can see March in the last 5 years and last 10-year average. Historically, we see a rise in the dollar yen. So important information to pay attention to there. Price forecast also, this one, it was kind of useful. I was paying attention to this the other day. Just from a momentum scan, dollar yen is just running hot. And I love momentum based trades, as they give you sort of like a very forgiving way where you just join into a momentum trade, and oftentimes it just carries you into profits, which is really nice. The final thing I wanted to show you guys in terms of the dollar yen data is that if we look at the COT data here, which, give me 1 second, I'm gonna fix something. Okay, sorry about that. I wanted this labels down below to show. They weren't showing for some reason. If we look at the yen versus the dollar, this is positioning by big money. Smart money right now is very short the Japanese yen, and they're very long the US dollar. Where do we get this data? It's the COT report data that we pull into the Edge Finder that you can check out and keep an eye on. So currently, if we take a look at the latest data in terms of JPY, you can see that there's a pretty hefty short position on. And if you look at the US dollar, there's a pretty heavy long position on from institutional traders across the board. One thing I want to mention also about the dollar yen is that when we look at retail sentiment, you can actually see that retail traders are very much shorting the dollar yen. And let me show you that. I'll even make that bigger so you guys can see it nice and big on your screens at home. Dollar yen, here it is, huge, ginormous bar on the screen. 64% of retail traders are short dollar JPY, whereas only 36% are long. If we recognize that most retail traders under the retail positioning tab are looking to be short, we might want to be on the other side of that trade and be at least concerned that, oh, well, this is the popular crowd that loses money. They're all shorting this pair. That's something to think about in your analysis. By the way, this piece of information, this data that I'm showing you, is available 100% free, no strings attached, if you get access to the free version of the Edge Finder. If you don't have access to that, we're going to drop a link in the description down below, and also we'll put it in the pinned comment section in case you'd like to check it out there. Fill out that form and we'll send you a copy instantly. It's just an automated form, which will give you access to the Edge Finder free version, which might be helpful in your analysis. It comes with a bunch of free data. So check it out if you haven't already. Link will be down below. And so when we look at the chart, that gave me extra confirmation to go ahead and pick up this trade. And going forward, what's the move? Because of course we're already in this trade. That's great. What's the idea? Well, if this thing can break higher, I'm expecting some reaction to this level, and we'll see if that occurs. I'm expecting some reaction. If that comes out, we trail higher, we head higher. Any sort of higher low will give me room to trail this stop loss and to lock in a profitable trade here. But again, I'm trying to hold loosely to this dollar idea because I think that there's a lot of stuff going for the dollar right now to continue, and I just don't want to trail my stop too tight in case I get whipped out of a position. So I'm considering trailing stops, but waiting for some sort of higher low to print before I do that. Let's go talk about my euro trade in case some of you guys are now watching the euro. Still, the euro did some crazy stuff. I went short here, right? And price initially went in my favor, launched against me. We did that all in the videos yesterday. It was awesome. Now we've rolled back over and price has really gone a little bit bearish again. Question is am I going to short it again? Well, the answer for now is probably not until I don't have another dollar trade open. Right now, I am currently already in that USD JPY trade, so I already have exposure to the long side of the dollar. But for those of you who are looking at euro dollar, what I'd be looking for is, again, lower lows, lower highs to sort of form. Right now we have this weird situation where it was like lower high, lower highs, lower lows, higher lows, higher lows, or I'm sorry, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So we've got this mixed sentiment. So I don't like the chart as much as I did before on euro dollar, despite the dollar still being very strong. Speaking of dollar, let's look at DXY, which right now looks really strong. Part of the reason the euro is not as attractive is the euro is also kind of on a hot streak. If you take a look at like euro Aussie, right? Euro Aussie to the upside, euro NZD, euro yen has been a big one. So if we look at euro yen, you can see this one has been on the rise. So it's kind of a strong currency right now to try and go up against. However, the dollar by itself is very strong. And so I, generally speaking, think that the dollar has more upside to go. And I think very, very easy target in terms of where we could go would be a return back to the previous high around 105.3. So we're very close already. I think we probably expand up to that level. And if we can break that, that's going to be where the fun begins, I think, for dollar bulls, where we can get this continuation, this break above the highs. This continuation could lead into, maybe even a return back to some of the pre-2022 levels, right? Where you had this move up to like 114, which was absolutely parabolic. Now, is that likely to happen? Not in the near future. But it's got to be something you're thinking about because, again, we've had this downward structure that has completely sort of fallen apart. We've started going back up again. And that question of how far does it want to go has to be asked. And I think you have room to expand to much higher levels. Like here's a key zone for a while. This was very focused 108 for the dollar. And if 108 starts to print, the upside for dollar bulls is very high. So in my opinion, that is one of the easier trades that's out there right now. Of course, I could be wrong about this. It's not financial advice, but one of my easier trades is being long exposed to the dollar and trying to ride this thing as fears sort of return that, Fed hawkishness could continue to push the dollar higher, so on and so forth. And again, where I am currently at, I've got my stop loss trail to break even. My goal is to see if we can print higher lows and higher highs and trail the stop to see how far that dollar wants to move. One serious point that I want to make with this stuff is that I don't predict exactly what's going to happen with the markets. What I do is I have an opinion. I place a trade at a high probability spot that I can find on the chart that lines up nicely with what I have in the edge finder. And then from there, I look to try and trail stops and let the market run as much as I possibly can. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.